Hello. Let's start our webinar today. Today we will be discussing how Lanteria performance module can help you with the organization of the performance management in your company. While we're waiting when other people join us, let me introduce myself. I'm Irina. And I'm working for Lanteria as the project manager and consultant. You can find me, you can contact me via email that you see here. And I hope that some of you know me. If you don't know me, just don't hesitate to contact me anytime when you want some consultancy regarding Lanteria. Just want to tell you just a few words about our company. Lanteria was founded in more than 13 years ago, and we have the clients almost all over the world. Lanteria is a software product development company, and we have two main products. Our main product is Lanteria HR, which we will see today how it works in terms of the performance management. And also just recently we introduced a brand new product, Lanteria. Lanteria will help companies to do their recruitment. Lanteria is not the topic of our today webinar, but I think that in the nearest future, our team will organize the presentation of this product. Okay, so let's discuss the performance management. Today, I want to give you an overview of various approaches that Lanteria uses to help the companies to organize the performance management process. We will do a quick overview of each method. And a little bit later, we will go to the system and I will show you how it works really in the system. What approaches we use in Lanteria? We use very classic approaches like annual reviews, 360 feedbacks, ad hoc reviews, and just recently we have introduced such methods, such tools as check-ins and employee feedbacks that are more informal processes. However, you can always combine or mix these processes to get the best results that you want to achieve. Let's just start with the, let's have an overview of the annual performance reviews. Many companies now call them appraisals, performance appraisal reviews, and etc. In Lanteria, we use the performance review terminology, and I will follow this terminology. Okay, so what is the annual performance review? Annual performance review is actually a very formal process of the employee performance appraisal. And during the performance review, we use the specific workflow and specific review form template. During the performance review, we can do the assessment of the goals achievement, competencies, job responsibilities, and etc. And in order to start the performance review, we need to start the round. We start the round for either whole company or for specific parts of the company like departments or countries or locations and etc. You can also conduct the project review and create the working group for the project team and do the assessment or do the performance review of the project team. Let's just have a very quick overview how the performance review works in Lanteria. By the way, for those who uses Lanteria, now just would like to pay your attention on the new layout of our product. We introduced it just this week. It's a brand new thing. And I recommend you to contact your account managers and ask them to give you demos for you just to learn this new layout, how it looks like, how you feel it, and then you can decide when you would like to have a system update to get this new layout. It's pretty nice. I personally like it a lot. Yeah, but it's a bit new. Yeah. Okay, so with the performance reviews, what we need to do, first of all, as I've mentioned before, we need to design a form. Let's just open just one example of the form. In Lanteria, you can have really a lot of various forms for various purposes. You can have a form for annual review, for probation reviews, for project reviews, for some individual reviews, for some specific cases. I want to show the template for the annual review, just to show you what options we have. Yes, in the form, we can do the assessment of the competencies, but of course the competencies framework should be configured beforehand. Then we can do the assessment of the objectives or goals for the current year. We can assess the key performance indicators. We can add the development needs, do the assessment of the job responsibilities, and actually, yeah, you can set up the future goals, and then you can add as many custom fields as you want. These are examples how the custom fields may look like. You can add the boxes for the comments. You can even add a small questionnaire if you want to get the answers for specific questions, and etc. So this is a designer, so that therefore it looks a bit empty, and not every button like is active here. But when the form is generated for the employee, it's active. A little bit later, we will have a look at this. Yeah, the designing of the form is a very simple process. So you just create a new template, and then you can add the new sections. You can select from the built-in sections here, like from the standard sections, or you can create your own custom sections. Of course, to create custom sections, you need to know how to do this, but it's not a rocket science, and you can easily do this. At least either me or Karen, our consultant and project manager from the US, can help you with the great pleasure with this. Okay, so this is the first setting. The next setting, which is very important, is to configure the workflow. The workflow, when we configure the workflow, we specify the sequence of steps and the responsible people for each step. And the workflow can consist of as many steps as you need. I want to show you the workflow that consists of 9 steps, which reflects whole year performance cycle, starting from the goal goal setting by the employee, manager reviewing and approval of the goals, then mid-year review, and then year-end review. And again, so like you can create as many steps as you want. The process is also pretty simple. You add this title, you add the step order, you select the responsible person. So in here you have a few options that you can choose from. Yeah, and some other settings. I don't want to really focus on this because we have just the overall overview. But the good thing is that you can create really a long form, a huge form, which will be used during the whole year. And for each step, you can specify which form or which section of the form is the read-only section or active section, and which sections can be hidden at a certain point of time. And also you can specify at which on which steps the form will be visible for all participants, or just for the managers, or just for the person who is responsible for this step. And one more thing which is very interesting here, that for each step you can create the letter template and give the instructions or give some overview of what the user, what the responsible person should do at each step. And again, so as I mentioned before, the number of steps can be different. Like the step I shown you before consists of 9 steps, but you can have like 3 steps process. You can easily just add steps or remove the steps. Okay, so when we do all necessary settings, but of course the preparatory period is can be pretty long, because before we start the performance round, we need not just design a template and the workflow, but we need also to design the competency framework. We need to think how we will set up the objectives. If we want to use the KPIs functionality, we will need to create the KPIs library, and etc. The preparation for the performance review may take quite a long time, but I should just, for you not to worry about the duration of configurations, I just want to say that this may happen once, and you can use the same form, the same template, and the same settings for the next rounds. But from my experience, clients usually review the process every year and make some changes in the form, in the workflow, in the competencies, and etc. So in any event, before you start the performance review round, you need to get ready for it. Okay, so let's just see how we start the round. Under the performance, we have the button Start Review Round. When we start the round, we can specify the time period when the review process is open. So when we expect the users, the responsible people, to fill out the forms. Also, we specify the assessment period. Of course, we need to select the correct form or template, correct workflow, and then we need to select for which part of the company we want to start the process. This can be, you can select the whole company, you can select specific countries, locations, departments, or org units, or even working groups. You can create a working group and open the round for the working group. And also you can select the job roles for which you want to open the round. For example, you select a few departments. Yeah. So, and you want to open the round just for specific job roles for these departments. And the system will do the necessary validations and generate the forms just for those people who have who are assigned to these departments and who have the selected job roles. Okay, when we open the round, when we generate the round, the system generates the forms and assigns the forms for people in accordance with the workflow. And actually, this is how the form looks like. Okay, so you can do the assessment of the competencies. You can assess. Oh, yeah, this is my demo, just recently updated, sorry. So you can assess the competencies, you can assign the goals, create the goals, qualitative and quantitative, or just one of them. So we can make a setting that, for example, only qualitative goals will be available here. If we have designed the KPIs library, and selected which KPIs should be populated for specific job roles or for specific individuals. All selected KPIs will be displayed in the KPIs section. Job responsibilities, you can add development needs, and etc. You can answer the questions, you can make comments, and etc. When the user completes the form, user clicks submit review, and the review is submitted, and form moves to the next step. And now you can see that this this form goes to the next user. Just a second, let me just go back to the yeah, I'm acting here as HR, trying to fulfill the form on behalf of the employee, which is not correct, of course. I mean, not correct from the process point of view, but this is just for demo. So, and now we see that this form was moved to the next step, manager step. And we don't have the summary rating or calculated score yet because we actually didn't add any information, and etc. So like when the form is moved to the last step and the last responsible clicks submit review, the system assigns the status completed and the form is completed. And then this summary rating is saved as the summary rating for this very review. So this is how the standard performance review process works. If you want to discuss this in more detailed way, so you can contact me or Karen, and we can help you with this. Okay, so let's move to the next next tool, which is 360 feedbacks or 360-degree reviews. Actually, this is 360 feedbacks. The main purpose for 360 feedbacks is to get to provide the feedback to the employees from many people. 360 feedback is the method when many assess one. Usually we select group of managers, group of subordinates, peers to participate in such assessment. In Lanteria, you can select the option for the self-estimation, and also you can share the assessment form, 360 feedback form with the external users. For example, if you want to get the feedback from the clients, this is possible. From the process point of view, this is a bit similar to the previous tool, previous methodology, performance appraisal. Here we also need to create the form and generate and create the round in order to generate the forms. But in this case, we don't need to create any workflow because the workflow is hard-coded and it's the way when many assess one. Okay, so let's go back to Lanteria and let's have a look how it looks in Lanteria. And again, so let's go to the performance review form designer just to have a look how the competency 360 form may look like. For 360, we can do the assessment of the competencies and provide the answers to the questions and provide the comments. We cannot do the assessment of the goals, KPIs, development needs, and job responsibilities in 360. Because this is like the way, the nature of the appraisals. Many assess one, so many assess the competencies. But of course, if you need to do some to assess the, for example, job description or job responsibility or something else, we can find the workaround. Yeah, so it's pretty easy. We really don't need to do a lot of settings here. And when we want to start the round, we need to go to 360 feedbacks and start the round. One important thing, the results of 360 feedbacks are not populated to the annual review. So these are absolutely two separate processes. They are not connected to each other. So usually 360 feedbacks are used to provide feedback and determine the development needs for employees. But I know that some of my clients want to connect these two processes somehow. We have an experience in doing this, but this is the custom solutions. But if it's critical for you, this can be discussed. Okay, so for the feedback, 360 feedback round, we do not specify the assessment period. We just specify the due date. The form template is populated automatically. And again, we can select for which part of the company we want this round to be generated, either for the whole company, for specific countries, or for all countries, for locations, or for departments or organizational units. And again, after you select one of this option or several options here, you can select the job roles and the system will do the validation. Also here you can select what groups of reviewers will be participating. And when we select the group, we can select how many people will be the part of this group. Of course, 2 is like by default, the system selects 2, but you can select more. You can change the numbers. And also you can select if you want the system to select assessors automatically. If you select here yes, when the system selects the assessors, it will select the assessors from the whole hierarchy of the employees. For example, if we're talking about the managers, the system will go through the whole hierarchy, and plus if we select include additional managers, it will select from the additional managers as well. Yeah, something like this. So I won't generate anything because this is like I have already a few rounds here. Okay, when we generate the round, the system doesn't generate the forms immediately. It allows us to verify the list of the assessors. As HR, you can see the list of the assessors selected by the system automatically. And you can change this list. You can either add additional assessors or replace somebody. Also, you can request managers and employees to select the assessors as well. So you can click request reviewers from the managers, and the system will send the notification to the managers requesting them to select the assessors for their subordinates. When the assessors selection process is completed, you can click approve and generate the forms. And after that, the system generate the forms and sends those forms to everyone who was selected as the reviewers. Or if you don't want this to do like individually, because this may be a long like time consuming exercise, you can click one button, approve and generate the forms, and the system will generate the forms for everyone. How it looks like. Let me just move to another browser as employee. So here I have just purely employee permissions. Under my performance, my feedback, I have 360 feedbacks. As you can see, I can select the reviewers if HR requests me to do this, and I can fill out the form. And the form looks like this. So the competency assessment, you can assess the competencies and add the comments. And submit review. So every assessor, every reviewer will get the same form. And when they submit the form, the system generates the report. I want just to show you, yes, we have some completed report, some completed reviews, and we can see the part of the report. The report, of course, it doesn't include all assessments because not everyone has assessed this employee, but just for you to see how it looks like. The report is individual, and you can view the assessments by groups, like the overall assessment and the assessments made by the competency. And also you can view the comments. here it's a very important thing that all comments and all assessments are anonymous. You cannot see the name of the person who provided the comment. So this is the default out-of-the-box solution that you cannot see the names of those who commented and who provided the assessment. Okay, yes, and then as you can see, as with 360, we mainly focus on the competencies assessment. We can view the gaps between the manager's assessments. Right now, on this example, we have the manager's assessment and self-estimation. Self-assessment. Of course, when other groups provide their assessment, we will see the gap analysis. And based on this, HR can help the employee with the development needs and with the selection of the trainings that the employee needs to improve the competencies. Okay, so let's move further. Ad hoc reviews. Ad hoc reviews is the part of the performance review process. And for ad hoc reviews, we will be using performance review tool. With ad hoc reviews, we can create the review for just one person. Let's move to Lanteria and let's have a look how it looks like. We go to performance reviews. Click at ad hoc review button, then select, select the employee name, add the title, select the review type. This can be like ad hoc review, of course, workflow and the template. You can use similar template and workflow that you use for the annual review, or you can create specific form and specific workflow for this type of reviews. You select the start date, due date. This is the time for filling out the form. And we select the review period, assessment period. Let it be for 6 months. Then the system generates the review, which is not the part of any round. This is just a review, single review for a specific person. This is unscheduled review. Yeah, here we have a lot of reviews. Sorry. Yeah, I have a lot of reviews for this test account. Yeah, this is the one. So, and let's just move to employee interface. My performance review, and employee will get notification. Notification text wording can be added to the workflow step form. And I can click fill in, and the system opens the form. And again, employee fills out the section, clicks submit review, the form moves to the next step. Actually, you can view what is the next step, manager review, then HR review, and when HR submits the form, the review is completed. With the help of this ad hoc reviews, you can do the appraisal for the employee in case if the employee has some performance issues, or you need to make a decision about the promotion or some other decisions. Okay, let's move further. And let's just have a look on the pretty informal tool, check-ins. This is not brand new functionality in Lanteria. We introduced this last year, but it's pretty popular. Let's have a look how it works in Lanteria. So for the check-ins, like actually during the check-ins, we need manager and employee. How it works, the manager and employee agree, for example, that every quarter they have a meeting when they discuss various topics related to the performance, objectives, career growth, perspectives, development needs, and etc. So this is actually one-to-one meeting when both manager and employee can suggest the topics for discussions. In comparison with the performance appraisal, where where the review is done in accordance with the when during the review we follow the strict template. Here the participants can select what they want to discuss. And for the check-ins, we don't have any workflows, any forms, any round. Actually, HR does not participate in this process at all. And this tool is available for you immediately, and you can start using it almost immediately. You just need to double check that you have this menu item activated, and then you can start using this. Let's open the manager interface. So here, the account which has manager and employee permissions. And as a manager, when I go to my team performance and click my team check-ins, so first of all, I will see the list of all my direct reports. If I want to see the list of not just the direct reports, yeah, here it's direct and additional reports. Like under the additional filter, you can select if you want to see the whole team, direct and additional reports, or just direct reports only. And you can just select for whom you would like to see to start the check-in and add topics. I will move to my test account, Joy Harmon, because I have an access to this account, and click view. And now I can see that from I can add the topics. Let it be like this. Description. I can select the category. No categories are added here, but you can, this is a very simple configuration. And click Save. And as these employees manager, I can add as many topics as I need. What we have here, like this is the topic from the previous check-in, which is which wasn't completed. And you can see that active topics from the previous check-ins move to the next check-in. So let's now move to the employee interface, my performance, my check-ins. Now I see that my manager added a new topic. Actually, both manager and employee get notifications when new topics are added, and they get notifications once a week. When the topics are, especially this is very important for managers. Well, when the manager has a few reports, a few direct reports or a few subordinates, and if several of them add the topics, the system doesn't send the notification immediately, it just collects these topics added during the week and then sends notification, weekly notification to the manager. Okay, and I also want to let's say training to add another topic. So both employee and manager during the quarter or whatever, it depends on the agreement. Every quarter, every month, every 6 months, depends on the policy in the company, depends on the recommendations of HR. But during this process, period of time between the check-ins, both manager and employee add topics. Sorry. Let me just. Now I see that active, we have 3 active topics. And when we're ready, the manager clicks Start Check-in. Schedule a meeting with the employee. This is the meeting schedule is done outside Lanteria. Schedule a meeting and like they meet, discuss, make comments. Both can make comments. Add comment. Manager can edit the topic. Completed. Let's just very quickly add percentage. Yeah, and let's like when the discussion is over, the manager clicks and check in. And you can still view the active topics. And under the past check-ins tab, you will see the topics like the previous check-ins. The good thing is that even if the manager changes, the next manager will see the check-ins conducted by another with another manager, and so on. And the last tool that we have introduced also last year is the feedback. This is very, very informal, even not assessment, but this is the tool which allows everyone in the company to provide a feedback to any other employee working for the same company. And also as the manager, I can ask other people to provide the feedbacks. Let's say, let me just move here. I'm here as HR. Let me just switch to the employee role. I will go to my feedback and I want to provide a feedback to Joy Harmon. Or I can request somebody to provide the feedback to Joy Harmon. Let's just give feedback. So I select the name. I select the category. Categories are customizable. Something like this, I don't know. Making public, that means that not just this employee will see this feedback, but also the manager or the upper level managers will see the feedback. Okay, I provided the feedback. So then I can view to whom I provided the feedback, who gave a feedback to me. And let's move back to the employee page, employee interface of Joy Harmon. Yeah, and this feedback appears under the recent feedbacks, and the manager can also view the feedbacks. Like the feedbacks are collected during the process between the check-ins. And during the check-in, the manager will see all feedbacks given to this employee. And this like gives additional information and additional assistance in the performance management. Okay, so we reviewed all tools that we have in Lanteria. Probably you're asking the question how you can use all of this. From my experience, both as the Lanteria consultant and as HR in the past, I would use these tools as follows. Of course, I would organize the performance appraisal in the company, like the with the year cycle, when the employees set goals for the whole year, manager does the assessment, then in the mid-year, then we do the mid-year review, then final review at the end of the year. But between the sessions, between the goal setting and mid-year review, you can introduce the check-ins. So that means that manager and the employee will regularly meet with each other, let's say every 2 months, every month, or every quarter, discuss the status of the goals achievements, discuss the status of the development, and in general how the how employee is doing his or her job. So then they do the mid-year review. After the mid-year review, between the mid-year review and year-end review, again, they can have a couple of one-on-one meetings, check-in sessions to discuss the performance. In some cases, the company can conduct the 360 feedbacks. Usually 360 feedbacks can be created for managers or for those who want to be managers for the talent pool. So this is the additional tool that you can introduce. I think that you can start using the employee feedbacks almost immediately. It's a very easy tool when everyone, like when I switch to employee role, I go to my feedback, and this tool doesn't need any preparations or any settings beforehand. You can just communicate to your employees that in Lanteria this tool is available and that they can give the feedbacks to their colleagues or request the feedback for other colleagues or for yourself, for example. Actually, here in Lanteria, we use this tool pretty often, and it's a really very nice thing when you work with somebody on the project and you really get good feedbacks and you can provide the feedback to your colleagues. This is very good. So you can mixture the tools to create the best process you can. And yeah, I think that this is pretty. This will help you a lot, and this is pretty powerful and user-friendly module. Okay, actually, that's it from my side. Do you have any questions? I stop sharing. Actually, we will send you the recorded session and the presentation after this session. If you don't have questions right now, so you can think of your questions and send them to me or to our technical support team, and we will be happy to answer and help you. Okay, I don't see any questions for now. In this case, let's finish for today. Thank you very much. I'm happy that you joined our session, and I will be happy to help you in the future. Goodbye.